of preparation and build up for this. They've got every opportunity. If they bring out the intensity, they get their rush defence right, they make their one-on-one tackles, this New Zealand team is beatable. And what I've been so impressed with this England side is the last 3 games have all come down to about 2 or 3 points, and England have won those fights. They've got that fighting mentality. They need to bring that.
In World Cup finals, you need players who can squeeze the result out of tight games. And as Simon says, that's what the England boys have done in the last few games. This is England in a World Cup final.
Yeah, let's not forget, of course, the magnitude of this occasion. Ollie, I know how excited you are. I know from a personal level how disappointed perhaps that you couldn't be there as well. But you know this team better than anyone. Place us in the camp right now and what it would mean to these 7 guys taking the pitch and the guys on the sideline.
It will be the culmination of what was a difficult year, but we'll cap it off with an unbelievable cherry. This was the pinnacle. This is what we focused on all year. Of course, we wanted to win World Series. This is what it's all about, winning a World Cup for these guys. And they go out there now with a terrific opportunity to do so. The one area for me that England must be on their money and raise their game to is their first up tackling. We've spoken about it. Their penalty count on first up tackling, because New Zealand will make you pay in that area. England, in all the games that we've seen, have started really, really well, and then they've dropped off second half. Australia, they did that. Kenya, they did that. They just need to be on their money, because New Zealand are going to come at you, and they're going to come at you, they're going to come at you. So, fingers crossed, England have got the energy and they've got the staying power, mentally and physically, to last the duration.
And tactically, this is a massive game. You've got the world's most successful coach, Gordon Tietjens, a mastermind there in terms of the tactics. You've got Ben Ryan, who's driven this team through well, getting the tactics right, when to kick, how to compete for the ball and turn over possession, gain the territory. Absolutely fundamental in this game.
Indeed, the final game of a long weekend that has given us so much in the game of sevens, the chance for these young men to represent their countries. The national anthems of England and New Zealand.
Звучит государственный гимн Новой Зеландии. Please remain standing for the national anthem of New Zealand.
So New Zealand perhaps slightly more muted in the rendition of their national anthem, but clearly both sides very much up for this one. A quick final word from Ollie, if we might. You were with the English side in the pre-camp training sessions. When you spoke about those work-ons, the first-up tackles, the defensive discipline, were these particular things you spoke about at that time in terms of what would win this competition for England?
Yeah, they were. And we know where we've went wrong in the past and when we've done things well, what's been effective for us. The boys know this game plan inside and out. Now it's about 20 minutes of delivery, stepping up, putting everything you've got into that jersey so that when you walk off, you lift that cup.
Yeah, 20 minutes to define a season. It hasn't been a memorable one for England so far. It has been very memorable for New Zealand. Different form coming in, but none of that matters now, of course. 20 minutes to decide the World Cup winners in sevens for the next 4 years at least, certainly to the Olympic Games. This is a big moment for these two sides, and it is time now to hand back over to our commentary team at the Luzhniki Stadium for kick-off to this one. Carl Tanana and Nigel Starmer-Smith.
Perhaps along with Waisali Serebi. Here, a relative new time player, Christian Lewis Pratt. It's a pretty quagmire of a pitch here, but never mind. It will be grueling encounter, I'm sure, here in the 20 minutes.
I spoke about the kick downtown. Well, New Zealand using that tactic, Gillies Kaka with the big left foot. He's going to be an integral part of New Zealand's effort, as well as this man in the standoff position. He'll be marking him, Christian Lewis Pratt.
Relatively new to the sevens. I think there'll be quite a lot of kicking, don't you?
Oh, in these conditions, it has to be. And you're silly if you don't. But they'll pick their times. Conditions not too bad with as the rain is abated, but it's all about the set piece, who can retain their own possession.
Well, the New Zealand All Blacks, something to copy, because how well did the New Zealand women play in that final. Tomasi Sama with the show, just around the halfway. Knocked, was it, by Tom Powell? Immediately into the hands of Kaka. England very close there with Norton in on the tackle on Bryce Heem. DJ Forbes, well, he got it okay, and this is one, I think, one of the brilliant players, certainly of this season, Tim Mickelson here. Sama got it away, power on Kurt Baker, but possession still is Stowers. He's quick. Beautiful play, and it's Mickelson straight away. Wonderful little switch. And what a try and what a start. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, this guy's form has gone through the roof the last couple of series on the IRB circuit. Sherwin Stowers, well, he's a difference maker, and he's got all the gas. I'm really looking forward to this matchup against Dan Norton, but he gives the late switch to Tim Mickelson, ever present, and he'll get the account open for New Zealand.
Well, he may have played 6 seasons here, Tim Mickelson, but I've never seen him play better this season, and he's played every single event in the World Series. And what about this man, who's kicked 137 tries and 589 in the World Series? Of course, perhaps he's got the genes from his father, who was a great player for Fiji. And what a perfect start that is by New Zealand. Classical play. And I'm sure already Sir Gordon Titchens, the coach, of course, have just been knighted, will absolutely be delighted with that start.
We can't underestimate this England team, though. Nigel, they've shown the resilience already. No one picked them before this tournament to be in the final. They find themselves here. No one going to have a say in this final before it's all said and done.
Deliberately deep from Sama. And this is Tom Mitchell, relative new man, but he played very well in the early rounds of this tournament. And a fine kick line. Well, there is Sir Gordon Titchens, started as coach of New Zealand in 1994, and he has led New Zealand to 11 out of 14 years HSBC Sevens World Series. It's a remarkable tribute and an appropriate to his knighthood. Wickerman couldn't hold it, away by Mickelson again.
All inaccuracy at the set piece from England. They've got some tall players that try to go to the front without jumping. They've just got to play smart here. They've had no ball, no possession.
Switch again on Stowers. Sama He's got vision, such vision. Kurt Baker. DJ Forbes. Tharma, clever ball. Little chip, just little too great, too strong into touch. But already Rusty Rasabanga has given a penalty to New Zealand. And one of the England players is already down. Just looking to see who it is. I think it's Tom Mitchell.
Tom Mitchell or Matt Turner. Just erring on the side of caution there, but England really on the letter of the law, trying to press in defence and doing a good job. Just a step too far.
Yeah, it is Matt Turner. Well, he's had a mixed season, really. Absolutely brilliant last season, and this year, well, good moments and poor moments for him. But he certainly was playing well in the Cup semi-final.
Well, he's integral to England's chances as the number 11, plays in the centre role, and I think his combination with Dan Norton, well, that's very fast.
Good news that is for England and Ben Ryan. Matt Turner, one of those who've, four of them have come from the school of Millfield School in England, although he started out in South Africa. Tharma goes for the break. Into the hands of Bryce Heem again. Away goes Turner, but, well, must have been a second mistake, because it's England got the penalty, and there's, well, it's difficult with a ball like this. Just mud.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Vickerman was the one that affected the turnover. See the passes completed. Just shows you the dominance that New Zealand's had in possession, 16 compared to 1.
Well, the basic thing, possession, and this is what New Zealand have done already here. Mistakes given away. You can excuse some of them today. Fire away by Gillies Kaka. And again, Stowers, that acceleration. And Kurt Baker too. It's going into touch.
When the New Zealand team have seen a mismatch, they're putting Sherwin Stowers into centre, who's normally on the wing. And he's being marked by Tom Mitchell, and Stowers just went round him easy. Created a 2-on-1 situation to Baker, who put it to the toe, and now New Zealand just playing the game on the right end of the field.
Tom Powell, the big man, 6'6", not taken it though. Bryce Heem goes through. DJ Forbes, Tharma, he's made it, slides in. So awareness, isn't he? He knows the options. He has the vision. He's a real sevens man of intention and brilliance.
Yeah, Tom Powell there, they just couldn't execute at the set piece, and New Zealand pounced on it. Now this guy, as you said, is one of the best in the business. He's in the conversation with the great Amasio Volantara-Oma.
Second try. (12-0) already. Don't be surprised if it goes through. There you go. Well, in these conditions, that's remarkable.
Well, he came into this tournament under an injury cloud. He wasn't played much in the first 2 days. He had a back complaint, and Gordon Tietjens left him on the bench. Now he's firing on all cylinders.
After 9 seasons as well. (32-year-old) Tomasi Tharma. Luckily went back there from Powell. Turner, this is Lewis Pratt. A little room is there for Dan Norton. He's nailed. Went on with the foot. That went well. I thought that went forward. Nicholson. Tharma wasn't his best pass in his history. DJ, though, gathers it up. Could be a chance out wide here. And away with Kurt Baker. And in comes New Zealand again. And guess who it is once more? Tim Mickelson. He is, well, his work rate is enormous, isn't it? To be there then.
He's the Iron Man of the New Zealand team. He plays every minute of every game of every tournament. Ever present is the #2 for New Zealand. Kurt Baker doing great work getting the ball away. They were trying to press England in defence. You can't rush up if you don't have the numbers. They try to shut it down. Mickelson, his hard work is repaid with a try.
Still only 26. 6 years of sevens. And the man who took over from Ioffa Iwasa and my goodness, stood in big shoes, didn't he, after that? 19-0. Tharma, what else can you say?
So the big-time players from New Zealand are starting to take control. That's when you want your mainstays to be at their best. Tomasi Tharma, Sherwin Stowers, Kurt Baker, Tim Mickelson, all leading from the front.
21 lead. And this will be the final play of this first half here, of these 10 minutes. John Brake. Useful ball. Can he nail Tomasi Tharma safely, and puts it away into touch, and that gives New Zealand a tremendous start at the beginning of this half. 21-0 at half-time.
Well, dominant performance from the men in black, the All Black Sevens. They'll be pretty happy, but there's still a long way to go before it's all said and done in this final. Let's see what they've got to say in the huddles.
Solely based around your mistakes. We said we were going to flip that and play off their mistakes. Have we done that collectively? No. We have to be tighter, we have to be smarter, and just not even try and play in our own half.
Listen, they'll play this game at an intensity they're happy to play with. Yeah? We can't let that be contagious. We play how we play. We go at the, just because they're taking time to the clock. We've had 10 minutes there.
Water, take it back this time. Or we get it straight back down the side, Junior. And we don't have them on our own and get caught and give them even a sniff now. I guess once they've done that, then you can't play it. Just break the line. You know what? I think the 7 that's on now, fucking people that take what I mean, bench, chuck it up now, boys. We don't lose now.
Well, they're in front of New Zealand, and they know it. 3 tries to the good, 21 points to 0. We spoke about key work-ons, Ollie, before this one. Discipline, one of them. First up tackles, the other. What if either of those isn't quite working for England at the moment?
Neither are working for England at the moment, unfortunately. New Zealand are deploying the perfect game in this sort of weather at the moment. They're sitting really deep, so their passes, they've got time to take their passes, to see what's going on in front of them, and then they do what New Zealand do best, and they're changing the pivot of a point of attack. They're running late drops, sort of late cuts where they come underneath them. They're trying to expose over chasing from England. England, on the flip side, they're doing their rush defence, but they're not going through with it. So they're coming up really, really hard. They're getting to the man, and then they're getting fended off. They're slipping past. They're over-chasing. It's making it far, far too easy for this New Zealand side at the moment. And unless England can change that tactically, Rob Vickerman touched on it for me. But there, Christian Lewis-Pratt, that doesn't mean anything to a player. You've got to be more specific.
They have to solve their discipline. There are too many offside easy penalties here when they can't press the New Zealand side. They have to solve that.
We've seen 21-point margins turned over, but it will need to happen, and it'll need to happen quick, and they've decided to go long from the off. Let's return for the final 10 minutes of this World Cup to Russia with Carlton Unna and Nigel Starmer-Smith.
Lewis-Pratt weighing up the options. Same again. Kaka. And a break again. Bryce Heem and Norton.
Well, who's going to crack first? Is it going to be New Zealand to run it out?
Well, it's England who've got the problem, isn't it? And the best kick of the lot was that one.
Just about to say, you hit it the nail on the head there, Nigel. New Zealand aren't the one chasing the game, so they just want to plug the corners and force England to run it out, who at the moment are being patient. Important throw here, though, for break. He's got to hit his jumper.
Got style is the referee, Rasta Rusty-Benga. Little skip and Kaka the switch. Now into the hands of Sherwin Stowers. Look at that acceleration. Good tackle by Dan Norton. 5 minutes out, 5 meters out even.
Well, Gillies Kaka, I've been waiting for him to explode. He's picked his times on day 3, and he does it there again. But Sherwin Stowers, for mine, has been one of the best for New Zealand all tournament long. He's been led ably once again by the ever experienced DJ Forbes.
Yes, alongside him in the 15s, sometimes in the counties, Manukau, both of them. England on the rack at the moment. DJ Forbes has won the ball. How many times have we seen that? Away by Bryce Heem. Breaks down for once.
Well, Tamasi Tharma will get on this ball and slow it down. They're in no rush. They'll set it up. They'll have a set move out to the right-hand side. DJ Forbes to stay at the blind. Will have a loop around Bryce Heem probably. Or is it going to be a scrum?
Marcus Watson coming on. Just there. And so James Rodwell and Mike Ellery. Tom Powell back to the bench.
Gillies Kaka, the X-Factor, he's going to go to midfield. Kurt Baker directly behind the scrum in the standoff position for New Zealand. They want to get it to Gillies early with a bit of space and just watch him go on the outside and then maybe use this right foot step.
Tamasi Tharma held by break that time, but didn't see that reason for that penalty. Said I think it was pull and push, was it? DJ Forbes. Tamasi Tharma. Break. Oh, it's gone over the dead ball line, luckily for England.
Just controlling the speed of the game. They're not in a rush, New Zealand. Tamasi Tharma, Tim Mickelson, just trying a little poke him behind, the grubber kick.
Well, they're just making England camping on their own 5-metre line. James Rodwell there is the ginger hair, who's one of those 3 who's played in Rugby World Cup 7s before, when England didn't go past the Cup quarter-final. Kurt Baker, Dan Norton, well, he'll perhaps have a go here. He'll need to. England got to do something, not just kicking it away. Surprising, really, that.
Oh, yes, indeed. He had to back himself. They have to be the next to score. Time is of the essence. It's really England's enemy.
I mean, the time is just passing by. It's now halfway through this second half. And this isn't helping England at all, is it? I can't see the reason.
No, I mean, they've come in with a specific game plan, but it's not working. They've got to change it up. They've got to back themselves. They do have the players to threaten New Zealand, but they're not going to make any inroads, kicking possession away.
Well, for sure, England done well to get into the Cup final. Last time only was 20 years ago. Turner to Watson. Now, that's more like it. Watson Watson always slips. That's unlucky there. But it's all about the quadro. Break again. Slipped out of the hands as well. Well, this quagmire has been a problem, but less of a problem, it seems, to New Zealand anyway.
Execution under pressure, that's what you need, and break just drops that ball. Cole disappointing for sure. He's frustrated, kicks the ball away, but it was applied by the New Zealand captain, DJ Forbes. He made the read. It was a 2-on-1 situation. He come off his line.
And Gordon Tietjens brings on 2 players, and one, of course, perhaps maybe it'll his last season, who knows, Lotte Raikambula, who first played 7 years ago and played in the last Rugby World Cup Sevens in Dubai. And also Peter Aki, has been pretty spectacular, made his first appearance this season in Glasgow. Dan Norton, and chase is Aki. And he's nailed him right into the touchline.
Peter Aki can play in the backs or forwards. He's usually a flanker in the 15-a-side game, but again, New Zealand just plugging that right-hand corner, and England just can't get out.
Break, Watson, Dan Norton, and Turner. Well, there's the graft, isn't it? And Mickelson again takes it away. Decided not to give it to DJ Forbes, but sets the situation there. Powell didn't get the tackle. And away they go. Gillies Kaka. And they are certainly a different level at the moment, the way they're playing New Zealand in these conditions.
Well, they know now that they have got one hand on the Melrose Cup. New Zealand, Gillies Kaka has been outstanding all year long. And now he's going to get his name on the score sheet in the biggest game of his career in the World Cup Sevens final.
How he's come on, isn't it? I mean, he first played in Wellington this season. And look at Gordon, he's smiling. He knows it's wrapped up now. 26-0. Well, it's been 12 years waiting for this title. They've had pretty much everything else, Commonwealths and all these 11 of these 14 World Series. And certainly I think Gordon Tietjens is worthy of having this one for the second time. It's 28-0. England really haven't even looked like getting some points. John Break into the hands of Mike Ellery, one of the new boys this season that Ben Ryan brought in. But this is rather like the women's New Zealand team. They were a different class.
What New Zealand have done is they've taken away the strength of the English team. They knew they were going to kick, so New Zealand re-kicked. They battled at the breakdown. They've won that area, which is so crucial in the game of sevens rugby. They just haven't taken the foot off the throat. They've been ruthless, and that's what's created this dominance in this final.
Well, we've had some seam ones in the past, of very close ones. 31-12 is the biggest defeat when New Zealand beat Australia, and I think you might probably remember that.
Yes, indeed. We had a pretty decent guy in the name of John Olomu in our team that day.
I think we've heard of him. And alongside you, Lyle Ellison and Rushy and Muliana.
New Zealand will be the only second nation behind Fiji to lift the Melrose Cup twice in the history of sevens rugby. England have been gallant in this tournament, though. I've liked their endeavour. this game just really hasn't gone their way. They've been outplayed, with the attitude of the New Zealanders summed up there by Peter Aki.
Dumped. And soon on comes DJ Forbes. Raikambula goes high. Great feed across to Naholo. Naholo goes for the corner. He's slipped out of the tackle and he gets the score. And New Zealand get over 30 points. And look at the celebration here. Well, they've all been on the field here in the final of these 20 minutes. And it's been absolute class of the best of Sevens men's rugby.
Well, he's the master tactician on screen, Sir Gordon Tietjens. There's a difference in emotions. Despair for England. Williams there can't believe his luck. But this is the exclamation mark on the performance for New Zealand. Waisake Naholo burst through with his power, and just watch the joy on the young man's face.
And there, the final moment and the triumph for New Zealand. Well, it's been a little few years behind before they had this Melrose Cup, but they've got it again, and they've certainly deserved it over the years.
Positioning the New Zealand team to come together as one in prayer.
Lord, we thank you. Lord, we thank you for Korea. Thank you, Lord, Father.
Moment of prayer.
Thank you, Lord, for your favor. Thank you for the talent and the unity in this team, Lord. We return all the honor and the glory to you and yes, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Well, one sense they're going to... They used to do that in Hong Kong when it was muddy. Well, they've deserved it. Throughout this season, they have been the top.
Well, they've been a model of consistency on the Seventh Circuit, have New Zealand, but there's been a lot of sweat, a lot of hard work left back home. There's been a lot of players that have pushed this team, this squad. They got the opportunity to challenge here in Moscow. It's not just these 12, it's a squad of 20 back home also. There'll be a lot of people.
Well, it's fascinating that you wouldn't say that they were absolutely perfect on the first day and the second day when they were very close with the USA, I remember. But they can lift, can't they, to the big occasion.
Oh, they were far from
and let's go down and see the celebrations with Seb Lozier and the captain, DJ Forbes.
Well, a very proud All Black Sevens captain, DJ Forbes. DJ, I've lost count of how many World Series titles you've won, but this one comes around every 4 years. You weren't going to get another crack at this one. How special is this?
Oh, truly a humbling experience, eh? Seriously, I'm lost for words. One thing I can say is this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us be glad and rejoice in it. So I'm just so proud of the boys, all our fans, supporters back home that have been cheering us on and praying for us. It goes without saying, you know, it's not just for the boys and the management, but for our people back home. And it's good to get another one on the sleeve.
Well done, DJ. Thank you.
Well, of course, they've all wanted this one, and it's been absolutely tremendous. And let's see if we can find Gordon Tietjens then with Seb Lozier. He's just coming across. I can see him now to Seb now.
Goes to Team England.
Worth the wait?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's been a long time between drinks when we won our last one in 2001, but an outstanding performance in these conditions. You know, to keep them to 0 and to score some tries in these conditions was awesome. They stuck to the game plan. They did everything. You know, they played with a lot of heart out there today, and that's all about our team. A lot of unity. You know, I feel happy for them because we worked so hard after a pretty average first couple of days here at the World Cup.
Carlton Arna, who was in your team back then, of course, said this morning this was going to be all about mental strength. In these conditions, did that come even more so?
Oh, it became more so. Oh, it certainly did. You know, we had to get a good start on Fiji, also in the semi, which we did, and started with a pretty good game against Wales. And we knew it'd be tough. I saw the England game and when they beat Kenya, but we put a game plan to negate their kicking and their fast man, and it worked. So that's great.
Go and lift the Melrose Cup with DJ, Gordon.
Thanks very much. Awesome.
The day it has been for him then. His knighthood, his winning the series, and now winning the Melrose Cup. And David Pickering there to the England team. David Pickering, IRB Council member and Rugby World Cup director, and alongside him Mr. Alexander Zhukov, the head of the Russian National Olympic Committee. The silver medals for England, the disappointment of course, and the captain Rob Vickerman. But here come the champions. They've already got their gold medals. It's a real tremendous double, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Now both the 15s and 7s have both World Cups in their cabinets, which will be going back to Wellington, the New Zealand Rugby Football Union HQ. And all the hard work, all the planning has come to fruition for both sides, both programs.
So the team, Peter Aki, Tim Mickelson, Sam Dixon, DJ Forbes, Lottie Raikambula, Tomasi Thama, Bryce Heem, Kilis Kaka, Sherwin Stowers, Waisaki Naholo, Kurt Baker and David Raikkonen. And for them, the gold medals will be presented by Monsieur Bernard Lapasse, the chairman of the IRB and the chairman of the Rugby World Cup. Alongside him, Mr. Vitaly Mutko, sports minister, Russian Federation, and Mr. Vyacheslav Kopyev, president of the Russian Rugby Union.
Mr. Vyacheslav Kopyev.
Well, do you think they'll come on next season? People
Mr.
like
Bernard Lapasse presents the cup to captain of Team New Zealand.
Bernard Lapasse gives the Melrose Cup to DJ Forbes. And in the heart there is the man behind it all, Sir Gordon Tietjens. Well, that's amazing, isn't it? It's called the Melrose Cup because it was the first game of sevens at the Green Yards in Melrose, inspired by Ned Haig on the 28th of April, 1883. And what a game we have got now in the game of rugby sevens.
These guys have done all the hard yards and they join an elite group of World Cup champions.
You must know what it's all about, how it feels afterwards.
Well, it's such a hard grind sometimes. New Zealand haven't performed to their maximum the first 2 days, but today they've turned up, they've executed under pressure, and now all the hard work, they'll go down underneath and celebrate by themselves, have a quiet moment. Damien Corona there, a long-time member, now an assistant coach of the New Zealand Sevens team. It means so much. It's really energy draining, but...
Ross Everest there, the manager, who's been with them, well, quite a few years now.
Yeah, what a memorable moment for the New Zealand fans, those that are on site at the Luzhniki Stadium, those watching all around the world, certainly those watching in the early hours of the morning back home in New Zealand. Their women and their men crowned World Sevens champions, and comprehensive to say the very least. It is the most one-sided final scoreline in the history of the World Cup, going back to 1993, and as Sir Gordon Tietjens mentions, the first time in 12 years that the Kiwis have claimed it. So a word, I guess, for the team, Sue, the complete nature of the performance, but also the complete nature of the men that make up the side.
You can't argue with that, can you? They got everything right. They turned up when it mattered. They followed the game plan to the letter. They just did everything their coach asked them. They did everything that each other asked of them. Complete performance.
It seems like Sir Gordon broke down not only the opposition, who he knows pretty well, but also the conditions, because they changed so swiftly.
The tactics the New Zealand employed were absolutely outstanding. They knew how to break down this England rush defence, get really deep, attract them up there, and they used a good footwork just to make their line breaks, which they did very, very well. For myself, for England, brilliant getting to the World Cup final. That's an outstanding achievement. They got their tactics completely wrong today, and what was probably most frustrating as all is they didn't change them at half-time. When they were 21-0 down, they still went in there with that kicking game as if they were trying to defend a lead. Looking at the clock ticking away. Come on, boys, play. You're good players. You've got good pace. Keep the ball in hand. Work this New Zealand side. They didn't do it, and that's the most frustrating thing. They didn't give themselves a chance to lift that trophy.
With the silver medals hanging around their necks, it'll hurt now, Ollie. I'm sure I know it does for you watching on from here, but as they wake up tomorrow, as they return home and consider the opportunity that was there before them, do you think they'll regret even more this is an opportunity missed?
I think they will, mainly from the fact that I agree with someone. I just don't think they really turned up. I just think they missed an opportunity to really launch into that game. Their execution and their clarity in terms of not only of playing the game, but recognising situations. Like how do we break this team down? Our defence is working. They're sussing us out. We're 21-0 down. We shouldn't be playing kicking tennis for 4 minutes, burning that clock up. It's as if they'll wake up in the morning and it's as if that final will have passed them by. And I think that's the biggest regret they're going to have, because they had an opportunity to go out and win that, and they had the talent to do it. 33-0 is not a fair reflection of the quality in both sides. But what New Zealand did is that they knew how to beat England, and they executed it. They knew that if they sat deep, their rush defence would come on. If they then ran across the field, tried to pull them out of shape because they come out so fast, and then switched the likes of Stowers up the middle. Forbes had an outstanding game, picking lines, dominating the breakdown. To be honest, they outthought England. They just completely tactically outplayed them, and as a result of that, England have had a 33-0 drubbing in a World Cup final that they should really have been competitive in.
They didn't fire a shot, which is the most frustrating thing, I think, for all of us English fans watching this team. Knowing you've got the world's top try scorer on the field there, you just wanted them to really give it a go. And I just wonder what was kind of said amongst the players then at half-time. Are we going to stick with this game plan that isn't quite working? Shall we keep it in hand a bit more? Was there more decisiveness there to really try and take the game and really push on New Zealand? It just didn't seem to change. And as you went along, you're waiting for somebody to grasp it and go, this is not working. We need to change this. And I think they did that too late.
That second half, I mean, I was pulling what little hair I have left.
And it's very little.
And it was so frustrating because New Zealand just sat there. They waited for us to kick. They knew that was what they were going to do. Kaka and Tharma just sat there and said, we'll kick it 50, you kick it 50. And we were just watching, and here we were going, oh my God, like, run. Like, this is the opportunity. You've got the ball, run, take the space. You can occupy the territory when playing within your hands. And it's as if England were scared or they didn't recognise that now's the time to go. First half, 0-0, 100% agree. Kick it deep, let's see what they've got. 21-0 down at the end of the first half, we need to play.
From a wider perspective, though, we must recognise the achievement of both the New Zealand men's and women's who are in the midst of celebrating and recognising their own achievement. What can the Rugby Sevens world and the 15s, for that matter as well, take from this achievement of the Kiwis and what they've done both in the men's and the women's game?
Both teams, the men's side and the women's side, have been successful because they do the simple stuff really, really well. They execute so well. Their skills are fantastic, you know, and that's what people need. You need to spend time honing those core skills. Accuracy is everything in sevens. You've got to keep the ball and you've got to keep it well and do good things with it.
In whatever conditions. It looks like we're in for a treat here. The men's haka we know all about, but the women's waiata. For first-time viewers, this is something special as well. Sit back and enjoy this. So that's the women's version, but all female members of our staff are keen to see this one. So we're going to head straight back to Moscow for the one that we know a little bit better. This is the All Black haka recognising the achievements of a season of success capped off by this World Cup victory. This, of course, is a war dance, a war challenge offered up before a game, but it is also a sign and recognition of success. Let's return to them. So there they are, the New Zealand men's and the New Zealand women's sevens side. They are champions of the World Series, they are champions of the World Cup. The trophies will go back, along with the titles, to the headquarters in Wellington. And it is a trophy cabinet really bursting at the seams just at the moment. The New Zealand Rugby Union is in rude health on the field, and their young stars are great ambassadors and representatives of the game. We have so much more rugby still to come, of course.